Good morning, folks. Here I am again with another video story. And this video story is a continuation of my other video that I have put up a video card here to invite you to go and watch it. It's about how I decided to use this COVID-19 health pandemic lockdown situation to start with a thorough spring clean. So I started the spring clean last week, and so this is my second week into the spring clean, and like you may have noticed that I did not finish thoroughly cleaning my kitchen because it was a big job, and so I'm going to continue today, but I'm not going to get into the mistake I did last week is to draw a long list of things that I have to do. So this time I reduced the items of stuff that I had to do from 18 of last week to 10 of today. So let's go through the list quickly and then I'll take you along my day. But the key thing today is finish my kitchen, cleaning my kitchen, and go out for a run because I see that is what I lack. So going through my day, let's start with have a quiet time. So I already had the quiet time, and the lesson I learned from it was that men should respect their wives because they are the weaker sex. And when they talk of weaker, actually they meant that not inferior intellectually or emotionally or anything, but physically, you know, it is agreed that men, in terms of body mass, muscles and everything, more often than not are bigger and stronger than women, you know. And that you know, in that reading, it did talk about that even though women have come a very long way and have achieved a lot, there is still a lot of inequality between the opportunities men have as compared to the opportunities women have today, even in the workplace and especially at home. You will find that most often than not, the housework, you know, the chores to be done at home is most often done by women compared to men, even though there are men today who help out, but on the average women do the majority of the housework as compared to men. Even for women who work, for working women, even though they do have full-time jobs outside the home, it is statistically proven and shown to be true that in the home they do most of the work, you know, the home chores, looking after children, cooking, cleaning and everything. So I think this is one area that women can correct, women can enforce. Women can discuss with their partners, husband, boyfriend, whatever, is that there should be a share, an equal share of the burden of the home or housework between the two, and they should come and agree on what is fair and what is equitable, you know, so that there is not a situation where a woman is working full-time outside or even half-time and then having to come home and do the majority of the housework. And like, you know, even though women have come a long way, we can agree that in most cases men earn more than women, even if they do the same kind of work. So equal value of work, of the same work, is not rewarded financially to women as they do to men. So what I'm trying to say is that men on average earn much more than women, even for the same work. And so of course this is something that there has been a lot of talk about and a lot of debate on, and a lot of action now even coming from the men to correct this. But it's still a losing battle, in the sense that, I mean, if we go with the UN women statistics, they talk of it will take really like 183 years for women to catch up with men in terms of not only in pay but all the opportunities. So that for me is a very it's a losing battle. But I still think that there is a lot of opportunity and hope in spite of these inequalities and inequities, because there is now a new playing field, a new space that we can all start from scratch. And even though in that space there is a digital divide that men seem to have taken the lead, but it's still not too late for women to jump onto the bandwagon. And this is the digital space. You know, obviously you have heard of the digital divide, and it runs across gender lines, okay? And that the most highly paid jobs in the digital space or cyber or digital space is held by men. But because this is a new area and it's relatively new, you know, women still have the opportunity to catch up, you know. So this explains why my second item on my to-do list today, Saturday 28th of March, is that I went to read chapter 2 of this book that I am reading, but not only reading, but using as a course book to pursue my goal of mastering the Adobe Premiere Pro Creative Suite. It's true that this version is of the CS6, and I think right now they're on the Adobe Premiere Pro Creative Cloud, you know. So yeah, this you work in the cloud, and the latest version of this book, Classroom in a Book, Adobe Premiere Pro, is actually will be released in April, I just learned, 2020, and so by the Adobe Press. And so this is a publication I need to order, because while this is great as a guide, as a book to use for me to master the skill, the interface is not completely the same, but I can still follow. But this just shows that my first attempt to master Adobe Premiere Pro was 7 years ago. My God, 7 years ago. But that's okay. That even though 7 years ago I attempted, and for me then it was so complex, it was so out of my realm and reach that I just forgot about it, you know. But slowly as I started to edit videos using mobile video editing software applications like KineMaster, Power Director, InShot, then I started to build my confidence about video editing, you know. And so then last year there was the release of Adobe Premiere Rush, the mobile version, and so I used it. And because I had you know, experience using other mobile editing, video editing software like KineMaster, Power Director, InShot, it gave me the confidence to use Adobe Premiere Rush. And from using Adobe Premiere Rush, it gave me the confidence to go and try my hands on Adobe Premiere Pro, because if you compare the interface of Adobe Premiere Rush compared to Adobe Premiere Pro, then you know that Adobe Premiere Pro is really the advanced, you know, professional, you know, video editing software. But now, you know, from using Adobe Premiere Rush, I learned that I could import work that I started on my mobile phone onto the desktop, not only in Adobe Premiere Rush but also in Adobe Premiere Pro. So for whatever reason I couldn't after I had rendered a work in Adobe Premiere Rush on the desktop, I couldn't export it, you know. Somehow there was a problem. So when I thought, okay, maybe I should import it into Adobe Pro, and from Adobe Pro try to export it, it worked. So this is how come I was able to produce my latest video production, you know, that I will link here as a video card, and that you can go and watch on my YouTube channel. And so I was really proud of myself that I figured out how to overcome this obstacle of not being able to export my work from the Adobe Premiere Rush, how do you call it, mobile app, and then the desktop app. I don't know, something was wrong with the speed, that the audio and the video clip didn't seem to match. So there was something wrong with it. I don't know whether it was due to transitions or the timing, I don't know, but I was able to sort it out. And so yes, I felt very proud of myself. And I say proud of myself because, you know, I am not a digital native, I'm not a millennial, you know. I was born before 1965, you see, when we had the fourth generation of computers. So the world of computing is new to me. I mean, I wasn't born with a computer in my lap or a tablet. No, I think my first computer, the first computer I touched was when I was 18, you know. So to try to grasp and understand this new digital space, for me it is a challenge, you see, but I'm still pursuing, and I'm still wanting to acquire, to master these skills, especially with this desktop, you know, publishing suite of applications, so that I can take my imaginations, I can bring them to life through these different mediums. So yes, so I'm very happy with my progress. So soon I will be able to get the latest version of Adobe Premiere Pro Creative Suite, because I will order for the latest publication, and that way the course book that I use will match the interface of the Adobe Premiere Pro version that I'm using. That's the latest, the 2020, whereas this book is based on the version in 2013. So yes, it's been 7 years since I've been dabbling, but it's okay. The important thing is I'm here, and I'm now in the frame of mind to actually dare to be curious, and dare to explore, and dare to learn. You know, I'm like a hungry beast right now, and I just want to go and devour all the knowledge that I can, because thanks to this health pandemic, I realized that time is of essence. We don't always have the time that we think we have at our disposal, and so whatever, it's the most rarest of all resources, it's time, because once you lose it, it's gone forever and you can never get it back. So I'm really conscious these days of how I use my time. So talking of time, I need to move on to the next item on my list, which is to read a section on protein for growth of my Nutrition for Life book. You know, so this I'm reading as a guide to help me understand the science behind all these healthy lifestyle changes I want to introduce into my life, because by understanding the science behind it will be an added motivation for me to continue to pursue these lifestyle changes. So as I said, the short-term goal is to get rid of all these belly fat. Like I said, I won't show you, because no, I'm not used to seeing all that fat around my waist, because I've always known muscles, you know, always had toned muscles around my waist, but the last 5-6 years things just, of course it's part of the aging process, but the thing is, do I accept that as part of the aging process? No. Do I want to do something about it? Yes. And this is why I'm on this journey. I want to limit the amount of fat I have around my body, because especially fat around the waist, the abdominals, it is lethal. This is visceral fat. These are fats that accumulate over your vital organs, your pancreas, your liver, your kidneys, whatever, and you don't need that. So my goal in the short term is to get rid of all this fat and transform all this fat into muscles. But it means hard work, it means dedication, it means continuity, it means regularity, it means consistency, it means perseverance, it means determination. And this time round, I really am determined. I really am determined. I say no more to this ugly looking, flabby, floppy fat around my waist. This is not on. And so I am using this book to inform the good habits that I'm trying to adopt to stay healthy and healthy and happy. Because for me, like I keep saying, your health is your wealth. It is true. You can have all the money you want in the world, but if you do not have your health, and you have to depend on somebody to even lift a cup, then what good is all your money? Yes, you may be able to pay the best and highly qualified nurse or doctor or whatever it is, but what good is your health if your wealth, if your health is compromised? So for me, my health is my wealth, because once I'm healthy, then all these ideas and these dreams that I have, I can pursue. Yes, so I was cut, so I should remember to keep my sequences, my video clips, to maximum 15 minutes. So I was cut, now I'm resuming. So like I'm saying, the next thing on the third item on my agenda is to read section on proteins for growth of my Nutrition for Life book. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to come back and I will sort of give you a gist of what I read. And then I will continue with the list of items that I have put down for things that I have to do. So I'll see you after I have read this section. See you in a bit. Don't go away. And remember, subscribe to my channel, like the video if you do, and let me know what you think about it and what you'd like me to share with you. But like I said, I'm on this journey of introducing healthy lifestyle changes into my life, because I realized that my health is indeed my wealth. It is what will contribute to my happiness and to pursuing all my dreams. It is the engine, it's the driver, actually it's the fuel, So in the end, I have made that my priority. So I'm on a journey using this book, Nutrition for Life, to navigate me into understanding how the body works, why we have to eat certain foods, why we don't have to eat certain foods, why we need to have regular physical activity in our lives, why we need to constantly feed our brain with new knowledge, why it's important to socialize. That is important, but with the right people. And all this you can pursue, whether it's your dreams, whether your particular goals, by starting small. And this is what I'm doing. And so this is why I have a to-do list, and I try to keep things specific and then measurable at the end of the day. If I do a review, then I know what I did right, what I did wrong. And then, is it achievable? Yes, no, maybe 18 items on a list is not the best. Keep it short. So today I've kept it at 10. Is it realistic? I think it is realistic. So this is why today I'm keeping my the one cleaning item that I want to accomplish is just to clean my kitchen, finish cleaning it. There was the other half. There are all the shelves of things that I have to bring out, clean the shelves, and then put them back in. So this is the one thing I want to do. There are other things to be done, like the lobby, the bathroom, but I'm going to do that another day. I'm just going to concentrate on one thing, and the next thing that I want to do is to go running, and I will bring you along with me. And then what else? So yes, let me get back to what I said I will do. I read that section, protein for growth, and I come back to you and tell you what I retain, and then together we move to the next section, the next item on my list, until I get to the end of the day, and we will review with you how I fared, and then this will inform how I move forward in achieving all my goals. So see you in a bit. Don't go away, please. Let's do this together. So I've decided to move positions. I listened to the WHO Director General give advice on how we should best the good habits to adopt to combat, to curb the spread of COVID-19, and he gave us tips on how to do teleworking well. And so one of the advice he gave was that we should stand regularly. So I'm going to stand studying. I see that my battery is running low, so I will charge the battery of my camera, and then I'll come back to you and we'll continue the conversation. And by then I would have read this section on protein for growth and to share with you what it is that I retain, I learned. So see you in a bit. Don't go away. Bye. Yeah, so it's now 2:09. We're still continuing, and we'll come back when I'm done. So see you in a bit. So one cupboard done, going to attack the second. Whew, yep, still on course. See you soon. Almost done. Another drawer done. So yes, I'm progressing nicely. Another drawer done. I still have all the cupboards above, and there's the bottom cupboard down. Like I said, I'll see how far I can go. Today the goal is to get out. So now it's 3 o'clock. I'll see what I can do in an hour. And at 4, I call it quits and I go and have a shower, and then I go out for fresh air. So see you. So another cupboard done. Yep, another cupboard done. I'm beginning to feel hungry, tired. So I'm gonna stop and have something to eat. And then, so I'm done with cleaning all the cupboards. Not all. The lower ones, but it meant I took everything out. I cleaned every single item in there. So yeah, but it's not done. There's the upper ones left, but we'll see how it goes. But today really I have this need and urge to go outside. But before we broke off, I told you that I was reading this book on Nutrition for Life. And this is like a manual for me to help me understand the scientific evidence behind the foods that we consume, so that I understand every food item that I eat, and I'll understand why I am getting, what benefits I'm getting from eating every kind of food, and to be able to break it down to its macro and from its micro and macronutrients, meaning breaking it down into proteins, into carbohydrates, into fats, and then the micronutrients into vitamins and minerals, and then the phytochemicals, and then the fiber, and to understand why it's important I eat certain foods and why it's important that I try to avoid certain others. And even though the key is to eat as a balanced diet, meaning that you go for variety, a wide variety, different kinds of food types, but there's some that give you more benefits than others, especially depending on how you cook them, how much quantity of each you eat, the proportions and all that. So I just read about proteins for growth. So basically, proteins, most of the cells in our bodies are made up of proteins, and what I learned is that when you consume proteins or you eat a protein-based diet or proteins, whether it's animal protein or plant-based protein, the breakdown actually starts from your mouth, from the salivary glands that begin to break these proteins into amylase, and then going down eventually breaks them down into amino acids and peptides. This is what I learned. And yes, protein is essential for growth. Protein makes up a major part of our cell bodies, and proteins are complex compounds made up of carbon, oxygen, hydrogen and nitrogen. So I was just thinking that actually everything that we see as matter, as substance, if you break it down to its minute form, it's actually gas. And so this is why we're all spirit actually, but even though we are tangible, because the chemicals have taken different forms, but if you think of it, we're all spirits, we're all gases. So then proteins are found in every single part of the human body, including our bones, muscles, skin, and organs. So we have different types of proteins for the different body functions. And proteins are also found in enzymes and hormones and antibodies. They are all different types of proteins. And yes, like I said, when protein is broken down in the body, it is transformed into amino acids and peptides. And so, of course, while most of the protein sources are got from animal fat and dairy products like milk and cheese, but there are also plant-based proteins, like you get them in grains, in pulses, in beans, and you get them in nuts. And so I just read that a good source of protein are almonds and salmon. Yes, that you do get proteins in fish as well. So wow. So voila. So this is what I learned about proteins. So that activity has been completed. It's now 3:30. I really am hungry. So I think I'm going to stop for a break, and afterwards I will assess whether it is the ideal time to just go out and get some fresh air before I attempt anything else, because I really need fresh air.